Hello, this is Bill Bullard with RCAF USA, the voice of the independent cattle producer in the United States of America. Well, during last week's segment, we posed the question of whether the U.S. was inviting a new crisis for the cattle industry. We asked this because the U.S. Department of Agriculture continues to systematically dismantle our long-standing import restrictions against countries that have not completely eradicated their dangerous foreign animal diseases. I explained that importing beef from countries where foot and mouth disease remains endemic, such as Brazil and Namibia, Africa, heightens our risk of introducing this devastating disease into the U.S. cattle herd. But is importing raw meat from foot and mouth disease affected countries the only risk we face of introducing this dreaded disease virus into our cattle herd? Unfortunately, the answer is a resounding no. Because the foot and mouth disease virus is extremely contagious, arguably much more contagious to cattle than the COVID-19 virus is to the human population. Because of that, U.S. law prohibited any research on the live foot and mouth disease virus except on a coastal island. That's why since the 50s, the only U.S. research laboratory where the live foot and mouth disease virus was allowed was on Plum Island, which is located in the Atlantic Ocean off the northern tip of Long Island, New York. But in its infinite wisdom, Congress relaxed the law prohibiting the foot and mouth disease virus on the mainland in the 2008 Farm Bill. There, Congress directed the Secretary of Agriculture to issue a permit to the Department of Homeland Security so it could, for the first time in history, transport the live foot and mouth disease virus into the mainland and deliver it deep inside the United States, in Manhattan, Kansas. Now, Manhattan, Kansas is located in the heart of the High Plains region that was referred to by the U.S. Department of Justice as the Beef Belt. That's because approximately 3/4 of the fed cattle packing capacity in the United States is found in that region, along with close to 80% of all cattle feedlots. So why, pray tell, would our government invite the most contagious disease known to cattle? A disease that can be transmitted through contaminated animal feed or water, contaminated shoes or clothing, contaminated vehicles or farm equipment, and in some circumstances, the wind can spread the virus from farm to farm. Why would they do that right in the heart of cattle country? RCAF USA does not have the answer to this question. To us, it is incomprehensible and unconscionable that this has occurred, and we tried to stop it, but to no avail. So now our government is spending billions of dollars to construct a new National Bio and Agro Defense Facility, or NBAF, in Manhattan, Kansas, where the live foot and mouth disease virus will be housed, along with such other dangerous viruses as classical swine fever, African swine fever, Rift Valley fever, Nipah virus, Hendra virus, contagious bovine pleural pneumonia, and Japanese encephalitis. Now, since '71, there has been at least 6 inadvertent breaches at the Plum Island research location. The Government Accountability Office attributed all of them to human error. Fortunately, the inadvertent virus release from Plum Island meant the virus was carried out over the ocean, where livestock could not be infected. Thus, an island location is inherently safer than a mainland location, which is in close proximity to both livestock and wildlife. In 2010, the National Academy of Sciences did a risk analysis of the Manhattan, Kansas location, noting that the Department of Homeland Security's own analysis suggested there is a 70% chance that foot and mouth disease would be released from the facility and would cause infection outside the laboratory, which in turn would result in an economic impact of $9 to $50 billion. The National Academy of Science characterized that risk as being more likely than not to occur within the 50-year lifespan of the NBAF facility. But our government is forging ahead anyway, intent upon creating yet another crisis for the U.S. cattle industry. The reason another crisis is likely is because even in the most secure and technologically advanced laboratories, humans are fallible, and human error is the most likely cause for an inadvertent release. So now that America has several months of proof that a disease outbreak can cause catastrophic damage to our entire nation, isn't it time that Congress and the President stop this crazy plan of inviting the most highly contagious diseases known to cattle into the heart of cattle country? If you think so too, please call your senators and your representative and urge them to put a stop to the plan to house the live foot and mouth disease virus in Manhattan, Kansas. Well, thank you for supporting the American rancher. And if you'd like to learn more about what RCAF USA is doing to help the American rancher and all of rural America, please go to our website at r-calfusa.com. Thank you and goodbye.